All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're taking a scientific journey deep inside your brain to really understand procrastination. And look, forget everything you've been told about it being some kind of character flaw. We're about to find out why it might actually be the signature of a really complex, powerful mind at work. Does this sound familiar to you? That project's due tomorrow, you haven't even started, the panic starts to creep in, and then, boom, somehow you pull it off perfectly. It's totally stressful, right? But it works. And that very experience, well, that's the key to unlocking why we really wait. For so long, society has just slapped one simple word on this behavior: laziness. But, science tells a way more interesting story. What if it's not a failure of your willpower at all, but a sophisticated, if kind of stressful, brain function? That's exactly the idea we're going to unpack today. So, first things first on this journey, we have to understand what you're really avoiding, because, spoiler alert, it's probably not the task itself. Procrastination, a lot of the time, is acting like a protective shield for your emotions. You know that moment, right? You should be working, but you find yourself endlessly scrolling on your phone or falling into a video rabbit hole. Psychologists call that escape behavior. Your brain is literally searching for a distraction to hide from the uncomfortable, maybe even overwhelming, feelings that are tied to the task at hand. And this, right here, is the absolute key. You're not putting off the task because you don't care. Actually, it's the opposite. You probably care a ton. You're avoiding the huge mental effort and all the intense emotions that come along with it. And that whole emotional thing, well, it leads us straight to our next big idea: the powerful role of perfectionism. For a lot of deep thinkers, the burning desire to do something perfectly is the very thing that stops them from even starting. So what you have is this perfect storm inside your head that just causes total paralysis. You set these impossible standards for yourself, you're secretly terrified you won't live up to your own potential, and your brain just has to analyze every single possibility. It's a recipe for hesitation, and it's all fueled by a really intense inner critic. Now, this tendency to examine everything, there's actually a name for it: cognitive complexity. To someone on the outside, it might just look like you can't make a decision. But on the inside, your brain is running countless simulations, trying to find the absolute best way forward, which makes taking that first step feel huge. Okay, so what is actually happening in your brain during all that time you think you're wasting? Well, here's the crucial point. It's not wasted at all. Even when you're just pacing around the house or cleaning a drawer, there's this remarkable hidden process going on. I know it sounds wild, but it's true. That distraction is often just the cover your subconscious mind needs to get to work. While your conscious mind is busy with something else, your brain is in the background, piecing the whole puzzle together. This incredible process is called subconscious incubation. A lot of highly intelligent minds tend to be hyperconnected. They naturally see connections and patterns everywhere. So your brain is basically refusing to start the physical work until it has quietly built a complete mental map of the whole project. It's kind of like a four-step dance your brain is doing. First, you take in all the information. Step 2, you distract yourself. Then, during that distraction, your subconscious is making all these vital connections. And that all leads to step 4, the big aha moment, when the solution just clicks into place. Okay, but wait, there's one final piece to this whole puzzle. And this one is all about brain chemistry. It's a powerful trigger that explains exactly why that last-minute push is so effective. This is where your brain basically becomes its own performance engineer. So, your brain's ability to focus, it's pretty much run by a reward chemical called dopamine. When a deadline is weeks away, there's just no urgency, so your dopamine levels are low. But as that deadline gets closer and closer, your brain floods your system with dopamine, giving you this massive spike in focus and energy. And here's the kicker. This is not an accident. Your brain is doing this on purpose. It has learned that this last-minute pressure is the perfect fuel to shut out every other distraction and let you enter a state of deep, powerful focus. It's a system it created for itself to guarantee you can execute flawlessly when it matters most. So, after this little trip through the mind, what have we learned? It's time to put it all together. Procrastination isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that your mind operates on a different, and honestly, a more complex level. So, just to recap the big takeaways, right? First, procrastination is a shield against overwhelming feelings, not laziness. It's driven by high standards and that deep analysis we called cognitive complexity. All the while, your brain is secretly incubating ideas in the background. And finally, that last-minute deadline gives you the dopamine rush you need for peak performance. So listen, the next time you catch yourself putting things off, I want you to try and see it differently. You don't have a productivity problem. You have a complex, powerful, and hyper-connected mind that just needs the right conditions to do its absolute best work. So now that you know all this, what part of your own mind makes a little more sense? Really think about that. Because recognizing these patterns is the first real step to working with your brain, not constantly fighting against it. And that knowledge, well, that's a superpower.